Hey people, in ancient Mesopotamia, the old physician, the doctor, he was called Ashu. He was the physician. He dealt with empirical applications of medication. When treating wounds, he generally relied on washing, bandaging, making plaster, mixture of medicinal ingredients. And this is an old picture of it, and it looks like his go-to medicine. That really appears to be an orange tree to me. Those look like orange tree leaves. I'm not sure about that one. It might be a green apple. So this is called the eye fad. They got an explanation about it in the Bible in Exodus. You can see it here. You know, it's spelled E-P-H-O-D, but here in the Hebrew it's A-P-U-D, and they say that's an F as a E-fad or I-fad. So I was reading in Exodus 37, that last movie, and I read on through the next chapter and got here to try to help get better definitions for some of them words. And this is just too funny, so I had to make this movie. But it gives a better explanation. This is the Ashu. It's a O-S-U, and they use the O because anything starts with an A would read backwards. Gives a better explanation of what's going on right here. You know, this is the Ashu, and then this is Ngadi. You see here it's a V-I-G-D-E-Y. And this is it means in. Usually when you see it in front of a word, it just means in. Like here they'll put in, B means in. And you see the same word here with the dot in it, you know, so now it's pronounced as a B. The B. G-D-I. And so the reason is because it's read different here. But this is Ashu in Gaudi, and if you didn't know how to read the punctuation here, you would just read that in the Gaudi's riddle shirt, S-H-R-T, in the Gaudi's riddle shirt. But actually this tack has you read the next word backwards and then forwards. And so it's in Ashu in the gaudy dress, D-R-S, riddles, the riddle shirt. The gaudy dress riddle shirt. This is gaudy. If somebody's wearing a shirt like that, they're gaudy. And so that seems like the real name for what he's wearing, the garments of ministry for ministering. The gaudy dress riddle shirt. And then Ba in codes. You can see here in the codes. And so you know, they got every word wrong, you know, starting from the beginning. You see this is women, W-M-N. And this little dot that it comes between this Vav and M, usually they say it means that the Vav will read twice. They call it a dagesh. And if you're English, we just pronounce that dogs, D-G-S, dogs. And they'll say, you know, it's in the Vav. It changes the sound of the Vav to a oo. Instead of a Va, it's a oo. But it just doubles the letters, what it does. In the other, the dagesh, they have some they call lost because they don't know what the meaning. And actually, they lost all of them. And so there's 6 letters that it's supposed to change the meaning from a J to a G, and from a Ch to a K. But they lost all the meanings. But this is, if you're English, you just read this as a U-U-W. This is where your W come from. And so M-N, you know, is men. You know, it means from seed. The seed comes from the man, and he plants it in the earth of the woman. And so connect from men is the women. And so this is women. And the next, this tack tells you to read this backwards and forwards after this. And the women talk, T-L-K, they talk it. Women talk it, the tackle it. Where? The tackle it. And then W-E-A-R, the where, gaming. And gaming is, you know, when you're going out looking for some game, going out Friday night looking for some game, looking for some women. You know, this is in the Greek, but they're both the same Teutonic language. They both came from the ancient Teutonic. It's the same language. Whoever's writing this was reading each other's work. But yeah, the gaming is to marry, is game. And then what will at, WTWLAT or OT. What will at the shine. You see that's the same word they usually say is number 2, the shine. And then a shoe in gaudy dress, riddles shirt in codes. They're always looking at your shoes. And it's in the codes. It's encoded in our DNA. If we're out and we see a woman, the first thing a man looks at is her breast to see if she is at a breeding age, see if she's ready to have kids. And the women look at your shoe to see if he's going to take care of those kids, a shoe. And so this word, a shoe, come from the physicians used to make house calls, and they were called a shoe. That's where your word shoe come from. He was the doctor that made house calls. They had better sense. They didn't put when somebody was sick, they didn't bring them all together so everybody could share the disease. They had made house calls to keep it all separated. And so out in the club, the women's all sitting at a table and they watching a man come in, and the women talk it, the tackle it, where gaming. When you're out gaming, the tackle, the jewelry and the shoes and the clothes, the tackle it, where gaming. What will at the shine a shoe? They're looking at the shine of the shoes, the type, the style of the shoes, going to tell a woman about a man. And it's in the codes. You read the old book of the codes, and that's it. It's in the codes. And the shine of shoe in the gaudy dress riddles right. The gaudy dress riddles right in codes. And so this is a Q here, and it's usually an F, but when they put that dot in there, that turns it into the K, and it gives it a K sound. It's still, in the center through consume. And so the B is, I believe the B is the only one they got right in these dogs, and it's a V without and a B within, but it still means in. In the gaudy dress, riddles right in codes. So back around 1990, this old book come out, The Rules of Dating for Women, How to Capture the Heart of Mr. Right. And then about 6 years later, Nate Penn and Lawrence LaRose, they come out with this book called The Code. Time-tested secrets for getting what you want from a woman without marrying them. The Code. And this looks like the Vias with a Vav after it, to see. Vias, they say it means saw. Vias they say it means you saw. But via, V-I-A, is the road, path. And via is the travel, the journey, to go down that path. And you can see it in this Greek name for sun, Vion. And it means to go on. You have to have a sun in order for your name to Vion, to go on. And so this 2 here lets me know that this doesn't read Vias 2, to see 2, but it means, how a shoe, Vi, how or why. Via shoe, how a shoe to yardage, Y-D-G. And so the yard is the hand, the I, the yod, is the hand in the Phoenician or the Hebrew. And then the D is through, so it means to work through. The D was the hand in the Egyptian. But it's yardage. The G is the foot. And it's where your word yardage come from. To work through, foot is to travel. And how a shoe to yardage. And so this codes, you're going to see these dots a little different from the last time. See, it's got different marks on it. And it's just from reading this, I know they never repeat words. These are poets, genius. And so I'm sure it's the code here. And this S goes with this one backwards, SRS. The code source. And then all CERN. You know, the AE is ash. I showed a couple movies ago, but it's pronounced as ES. All as CERN, ESRN. You know, as in ConCERN, that's where it comes from. You and learn, ConCERN, all as CERN. And it's also that project they got going on where they take a gigawatt and smash atoms together, and it describes that in here too, believe it. You know, I saw it in the construction of the Ark of the Covenant. It was down here, line 26, you know, in the gold pure, and it's top, and it's 2 with a tack, so it's U-G-G-G-U, a gigawatt, W-A-T. It's top, you know, a giga, top power, high power. It's top, it's gigawatt. And that's what caused me to go ahead and read forward. And so, the yardage in Gaudi, the codes, the code source, all a CERN. Kosher. Kosher means it's okay. The kosher, it's shoe. You know, X is TS. TSUE. The kosher, it's shoe you to the smash. And so this is backwards. ESM and then SHE. And they'll say the smash is the sun, but we know what smashing is. So after reading all this, I can see where this is supposed to be cash to rhyme with the smash. And so it's the women talk it, the tackle it where gaming. What will at the shine a shoe? In gaudy dress, riddles writ, in codes via sue. To the handage, to the yardage, in gaudy, the code source, all a CERN cash. And then the R reads back here, the rights to they have. The rights Vav connected to, and then the E goes with the Y here, they have to the smash. You know, to the yardage in Gaudi, to the via shoe, you know, the journeys to the yardage in the Gaudi, you know, how the distance they went through to get all dressed up and shine the shoes, you know, the distance, the via suit, to the yardage in Gaudi, the distance they went to get Gaudi, the codes, the code source, all a CERN cash, the rights to they have to the smash. And so you can see in the next line, you know, this ephod, but this is where your word fad come from. It's not ephod, it's the fad. You know, it's e-fad, the fads. And it was never a fad to dress like this. They're totally misinterpreting all this. He don't even have a shoe. Alright, so I gotta go look at a job, but I'm gonna get back to this in Exodus 37 and finish reading that. I just had to go through 38, and after reading that, I had to go on to 39 and see what was coming next. But I'll get back to this one. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.